Before I show Camtasia, the video production software, and Audiate, the associated narration software, I want to show things that I did that were different. And one was the 400 plus links I have on the California Boomer webpage. How I did that, it's not straightforward. And so if I click on one of these, so these go straight to that part of the video. While working at the Sutter's Fort for John Sutter, he joined Captain John Grigsby's unit of men who carried out. And then the other thing that I did a little bit different was I use PowerPoint for all of my graphics editing. I've been using PowerPoint for over 25 years, so it was so familiar to me that I prefer using it to put together the graphics, and I'll show that. All right, so I'm out on the levees and I've decided to do the some of this out here. I do most of my narrating, well, all of my narrating into my phone voice recorder, and then that I save. When I save it in my voice recorder, it can be saved to Google Drive, to a certain folder. Right, then go to the file to Google Drive. Here, it's a tab. I'm a tab hog, as you can see. Okay, there it is. And I download that. All right, so I go to Camtasia and to the phone voice recording. All right, so there it is. That looks like. So you can also go to, you can use Audiate, which I pay for because it's pretty useful. Let's just import file here. Okay, so I'm importing this to Audiate. On my phone with I can import a file. Okay, so once again, here is Audiate, and you can see all the times I've said and and so I can have Audiate delete all of those, and then shorten all the pauses, and then I listen to it. And so I can take out the Audiate. It takes way too much time to correct all these mistaken transcriptions that Audiate does. So I only use it. Okay, so I almost exclusively use it just to take out words like that. Okay, so then I can save that, and then you can save that and sync it in. Okay, and it seems to be there. So let's see if. There it is from Audiate. So I use that for all of my narrations. Okay, so you've saved your Camtasia file with TSCPROJ. These blue markers are your subchapter markers, and it's critical to understand those because they become the subchapter markers in YouTube, and they have links. And so I copied those. I'm going to show how I copy those from YouTube to put into the California Boomer webpage, so that there are over 400 labeled links on California Boomer webpage. Okay, here's how you put in a marker. You go down to your timeline, click on the blue cross symbol, and up here you can label it. And you Go to the next one. Okay. Down on the timeline, click on the plus. Each of these has to be at least 10 seconds after the last one in order to work for YouTube subchapter links. And then you're going to go up here and hit export, and then you have this choices of YouTube. Now these are all the subchapter links, and you want those to show up on YouTube. And I had to redo this one because I had, I think, over 100, and YouTube did not like that and didn't put them in. But now let's see. Okay, so you go to YouTube, and then you name your file, and it's going to default to private. It's pretty simple, this part. And then you export, and okay, so you export, and it's going to do three things that take some time. It's going to render, and then it's going to upload to YouTube, and then YouTube then does this check, and it's going to look like this after. And so that's an acceptability check. I won't call it censorship check, but it's an acceptability check. But this, now I can see that the subchapter links have shown up here. Okay, so now what you do is you can refresh. Okay, there we have. Okay, it's done. All right, so then I go through it. I've already gone through this, so I don't need to edit it again. So here is where, now this is important for you to pay attention here, because it is these that you want to copy, because these have, you see the blue on the left, the timestamp is in blue. That's a link. And each one of those links, then you can copy this and put it into your web page builder or Word. But first, I need to lengthen these, make these clear, because this right here is the length, the number of characters that Camtasia allows you to put into those, what they call bookmarks, I guess. And so they're cut short. And so here, YouTube gives you the option to edit. Okay, so I go into edit the video, and then I seem to need to put in the introduction, but because it needs the 000 timestamp, but it doesn't need the introduction. So green tortoise of the hippie bus, then grandparents from the Berkeley Hill, way down through these. But it's not this that you want to copy, because this is not a link. All right. So change a few and then save every few times, because occasionally I will go too long here and it won't save. And so then I also then you'll want to put in a thumbnail, and then I want to choose one of these as the thumbnail. Let me go in. Okay, that one will go in. Down here, you show more. It defaults to, that it's not made for children. It's not a video made for children. And I just allow these. I haven't really looked into that. Tags. Then the one that really counts is I use the basic comment censoring or filtering to keep out the nasty comments that there's always, no matter what you do. Santa Cruz. Okay, I'll call that later and I'll save it. And then you can go back to where your channel content. For me, it's this one. It doesn't put these really into order, but so this is this is actually the YouTube to watch it on YouTube. Okay, so there it is again. Now here is where I copy all of these. Okay, so I copy those, and that's really important. You're copying from the actual YouTube video, because this has the timestamps that are links. Okay, and then those links actually go to that part of the video. Okay, so I paste it there, and the links are still there. Okay, and then I will show how I get those into my Google Sites webpage, so that they are links that show up so. Then the links will show up like this. Okay, and each one of these is a link to that part of the video, so that people can just read through these subtitles, subchapters, labels. And so here's one on my Finnish ancestry. So I'd like to talk about my Finnish ancestry that came up surprisingly strong when I got back my DNA results. Okay, so this is the Google Sites, and this is where I put in those links. These are all the chapters, chapter 5, chapter 6, and what I want to do is put in chapter 7. And so what I do is right here, I choose this. These are called content blocks, and then just a simple paste. You can publish them, and it goes to look like this. I have over 10,000 photos scanned. I keep them in Google Photos. I've organized most of them into albums. A good scanner is critical for doing this. I use what was then the Fujitsu scanner. Now it's known as Snap. And I can scan stacks of photos into JPEG files, scan stacks of documents into PDF files. And so in Google Photos, I do some editing. You can also edit photos in Camtasia, but I'm showing here how Google Photos can do some enhancing as well as cropping of photos. I then save it and download the ones that I want to the folder that I am using. I also want to show how I use Photoshop for doing my graphics editing. And so here I'm showing an article in a newspaper website. You need to be careful to always include the date, the author, and of course the publisher and the author. So I cut that using the Windows snipping tool, which is indispensable. I've used it thousands of times. I can highlight, I can find part of the article that I want to feature in this. And so there it is. It's got the author. That's called attribution. And then I can block some of the stuff out. Then I use the snipping tool to cut that whole thing, to snip it and save it as a JPEG file. And then I can drag that into Camtasia. I put it there, I can move it, and then put notes next to it. And that has been indispensable for me. I've done hundreds of them for California Boomer.